What happens after the journey ends? When the dragon is slain, the hero is crowned, and the kingdom is saved. What's left for those who survive? Most stories fade to black with a happily ever after. But Frieren, Beyond Journey's End begins where others stop. It dares to ask the most heartbreaking question of all. What if the end is only the beginning of the real pain? What if the deepest wounds are not from the battlefield, but from time itself? This isn't just another fantasy anime. It doesn't roar into your face with explosive battles or overwhelming spectacle. Instead, it whispers. It settles into your soul like a quiet snowfall, soft but inescapable. Frieren is not here to thrill you. It's here to break you gently, with the passage of time. The story opens decades after a hero party has saved the world. The Demon King is defeated. Peace has returned. Frieren, the elven mage who fought beside humanity's greatest champions, stands unchanged while her comrades begin to age. At the funeral of Hero Himmel, it hits her. While she was immortal, time marched on for everyone else. Her companions lived full lives, felt every passing moment, and then they were gone. And she? She blinked. This is the wound Frieren carries. Not one of flesh, but of regret. Regret that she never truly understood her friends. Regret that she never asked enough questions. Regret that eternity made her careless with moments that were sacred to others. And now, she's on a journey not to save the world, but to understand it. To retrace the path of the original adventure. This time not as a mage fighting evil, but as a mourner chasing memory. What makes this anime so devastating is how effortlessly it reflects our own lives. We're all Frieren in some way. We miss the significance of moments until they're memories. We forget to listen deeply, to love intentionally, to live fully, until it's too late. Frieren holds up a mirror, showing us the cost of emotional detachment. Not because she's cold-hearted, but because she didn't think time mattered. Because she had endless tomorrows. But the tragedy of Frieren is realizing that time matters because it ends. The brilliance of the show lies in its quiet rhythm. Every village she visits, every place her old team once rested, becomes a ghost town of memory. We, the audience, start to piece together a tapestry not of action, but of connection. Himmel the hero wasn't just a legendary warrior. He was a man who tried to make Frieren smile. Eisen the dwarf wasn't just strong, he carried the weight of friendships. Hyder the priest wasn't just comic relief. He believed in Frieren even when she didn't believe in herself. And it's in those flashbacks, those gentle interludes, that we see what Frieren missed. The jokes, the sunsets, the silence between campfires, the tiny human things that made life meaningful. And as she begins to feel their loss, we feel it too. It's not the grandeur of saving the world that hits hardest. It's the small talk at dusk, the laughter on a rainy day. It's love, disguised as banter. Time, disguised as eternity. As Frieren takes on a new apprentice, Fern, a young mage with a tragic past, the journey begins again. But this time, it's different. Frieren isn't just walking through the world. She's learning how to see it. To see people. And through Fern's eyes, and later Stark's, we see her thaw. She starts to ask questions. She starts to care about the answers. She begins to laugh at jokes, to remember names, to listen to the stories of others not as passing noise, but as treasures. Watching Frieren grow is a masterclass in subtle character development. She doesn't transform overnight. There's no climactic epiphany. It's all in the little things. The way she pauses before replying. The way she watches Fern with something close to awe. The way she visits graves and stays just a little longer. It's in the way she starts to feel, even if she can't quite name the feeling. And this is where the payoff comes in. Because the viewer who has walked with Frieren long enough begins to understand, this isn't just her story. It's ours. It's every goodbye we never said properly. Every friendship we took for granted. Every next time that never came. In the quietest way possible, Frieren is screaming. Do not waste the time you've been given. This message lands with devastating beauty because the show never moralizes. It doesn't shout or preach. It simply presents you with a life, slowly unfolding, and lets you come to your own realizations. Frieren's regret becomes our own. Her slow rediscovery of human warmth becomes our hope. We begin to understand that this cold, detached elf is learning what it means to be human, by mourning humanity itself. There's a moment, brief and easy to miss, where Frieren simply listens to someone describe a dream. Nothing dramatic happens, no demons attack, no epic magic. But the way she listens, that's the magic. She listens like it matters, like the dream is precious. And in that moment, you realize she's changed. She's no longer just passing through the world. She's trying to know it, to feel it, to remember it. That's the emotional arc of Frieren. From disconnection to intimacy. From indifference to love. From timelessness to the urgency of now. And it's all told in a world that looks like a typical RPG fantasy setting, but feels more like a meditation on loss and memory. The visuals reflect this tone perfectly. The landscapes are vast but melancholic, drenched in the golden hues of autumn or the cold light of dawn. Everything looks like the end of something beautiful. The animation doesn't rely on bombast, it relies on atmosphere. The stillness between movements. The silence after a line is spoken. It gives you space to feel instead of just react. The music, too, is a character. Gentle, haunting melodies that echo like memories you forgot you had. No swelling orchestras or pounding drums, just a piano note here, a string there, and suddenly you're in tears without realizing why. And let's not overlook the writing. The dialogue in Frieren is sparse but piercing. Every line feels intentional. Every conversation a step closer to understanding. It's a show that trusts its audience. It doesn't hold your hand. It lets you sit with discomfort, with silence, with questions that might never be answered. And that trust? That's what makes it unforgettable. By the time Frieren begins to truly connect with Fern and Stark, it's not just about her anymore. It's about legacy, about passing on wisdom, kindness, and understanding. It's about giving the next generation the connection she never allowed herself. In helping them grow, she's healing herself. And in doing so, we, the viewers, feel healed too. The emotional climax isn't a battle. It's not an explosion of light or the defeat of a great evil. It's a simple realization. She loved them. Himmel, Hyder, Eisen. She loved them all. And now, finally, she feels the weight of that love. And so, we return to the question, what happens after the journey ends? Frieren shows us that the real journey, the one that defines who we are, starts after the credits roll, after the swords are sheathed, after the fire dies out. It begins in reflection, in regret, in the quiet determination to understand what was missed. That's where the soul of the story lives. In a world of anime that often prioritizes speed, spectacle, and power scaling, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End is a quiet revolution, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that slow you down, that whisper instead of shout, that break your heart not with violence, but with kindness. So yes, we need to talk about Frieren, because she's not just a character, she's a mirror, a melody, a memory, a prayer. And if you've ever wished for just one more day with someone who's gone, if you've ever looked back and thought, I should have said more, if you've ever realized too late that time was precious, then Frieren was written for you. And maybe, just maybe, it's not too late to start listening, to start feeling, to start remembering. Because as Frieren has shown us, every journey ends, but understanding, that's eternal.